There were lots of tussles about the nature of truth or falsity in Wikipedia, and it seems like those debates are now over. Either Wikipedia won them, or at least it survived them, and now we face a much more vicious contemporary tussle over fake news. And I wonder, is there any way in which Wikipedia itself speaks to these debates about fake news, or is that a completely different subject?
So with respect to fake news, I think one of the interesting things is that Wikipedia has been almost entirely unaffected by the phenomenon. And the reason for that is, let's imagine, if there's a headline that says Pope endorses Trump, and you go to the website and it looks like a real website and it looks like a news site, it's got all the basic signifiers, even the name, and the headline is exciting. Either it's something you hope or you fear, and people share it. But if someone tries to put a link to something like that into Wikipedia, the Wikipedia community, they spend their lives wrestling over what really counts as a valid source. And they would immediately say, oh, wow, Denver Guardian, I don't remember ever hearing of that newspaper before, and they'll quickly check around and see it only has one news article on it, or whatever the signifiers are. The domain was registered 2 weeks ago. The actual newspaper in Detroit is called such and such. There's no evidence that this is real at all. And then, of course, the headline, Pope endorses Trump, you would say, oh, this is probably not true, and it wouldn't make it into Wikipedia. And so I think that's really important, and it actually speaks to the power of collaboration, the power of the human mind, and the importance of making really thoughtful editorial judgment calls, which is what Wikipedia is all about. So basically what happened was, just a discussion in the community about the quality of sourcing and so forth, and there was a proposal put forward that the mail is not good enough, and that whenever possible, if you have a choice, you should try and find a better source. And so it was interpreted in the media as a ban. It is not a complete outright ban. The Daily Mail interpreted this as a political statement, that we're sort of taking political sides or something like that, but it really has nothing to do with that at all. And I have a great example, my favorite example, is a fantastic photo, and it's of a giant TV screen in a square in Beijing. And on the TV screen, there's a sunrise. And it's incredibly smoggy all around. So it's a beautiful photo, really orange and a gray sky and so forth. And the headline in the Mail Online, to be fair, says, China forced to put up giant TV screens so people can watch the sunrise due to there being so much pollution. The problem with the story is 100% false. It is absolutely not true, and it has been widely debunked in many places online. As it turns out, this is a giant advertising billboard. It runs different ads all day long. It happened to be running a travel ad which had a beautiful sunset in it, or a sunrise, and it was a smoggy day. And so what's interesting is the byline of the story is a writer from the Daily Mail, or from the Mail Online, and AP Newswire. So they're like, oh yeah, but look, it came from the AP as well. And I said, no, look, I Googled some of the quotes, right, some of the bit that they had rewritten from the AP, and found the original AP story, which basically said they're having record levels of smog in Beijing. There was nothing about a giant TV screen and so forth. It's the kind of thing that you would say, would you want to rely on a paper that would print and leave something like that up for an encyclopedic reference? And it's like, no, this is a tabloid newspaper. You wouldn't really rely on it in the same way that you would rely on a serious source, and that's just that is what it is. One of the things that is problematic, Edelman, the big PR company, they do an annual trust barometer survey, and they've been doing it for many, many, many years. And this year, for the first time ever, trust in news media fell to an all-time low, and it was as low as politicians. So this is pretty grim, So Trump is exploiting that people feel that they don't trust the media. He's helping them not trust the media. At the end of the day, he's not engaged in a serious debate with the media. He's engaged in demagoguery and basically just insulting the things he doesn't like. And, I don't think anybody serious thinks he's onto anything. But the point is, a lot of people voted for him. We think about investigative journalism, and the romance of it is, Watergate, something really huge, like changes the world story. But equally important, but in smaller measures, is the local investigative journalism where we find out like this city council person is taking a bribe to vote a certain way. And if we don't have that kind of reporting and we don't have that kind of fourth estate holding power to account, then we're in a world of hurt. Again, against the partisanship that we see everywhere, I think it's really important to say, look, I would rather people, it's not about making them agree with me, it's about making sure that we all have information so that when we disagree, we're disagreeing on the basis of facts and real choices. Of course, quite famously, the Brexit bus, if anybody made their decision based on the Brexit bus, they are a victim of false information, and that's terrible. If somebody says to me, hey, I really support Brexit, and I think it's really going to be good for this country, and I don't think, okay, we can have a debate about that. If somebody says, I really support Brexit because I want that, whatever, $1 zillion a week for the NHS, it's like, oh no, like we can't even have a debate now, except we've got to get started. We don't even agree on the facts or the basic context. If the world ends up with different serious journalistic enterprises all in fierce competition with each other, that's a good world I want to live in. If the world ends up with serious journalistic enterprises dying because they've got to compete with the crap on the internet, that's a world I don't want to be in. So.